make that choice.
Yeah, you get to do that.
And it might not be the right choice, but it's a choice. And
Yep.
that might be the thing to get you the job because you actually can come in and make a choice that's not on the page.
Welcome to Get Scene Unscripted. I'm your host, Jesse Malinowski. We are going to dive into acting insights, meet industry pros, and master the business. Don't forget to subscribe and share. We're keeping you behind the scenes and ahead of the game. What's going on, everyone? This is Get Scene Unscripted. I'm your host, Jesse Malinowski, and thank you so much for choosing our podcast to help you along your journey. We're hanging out with an incredible actor today. Before I introduce him, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss any of our incredible episodes that are going to be coming up and coming your way with working actors, casting directors, agents, directors. We bring in stunt people. We're just all sorts of people in the business to really serve you in your journey. So thank you for being here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we're hanging out with Mr. Keith Arthur Bolden. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? This man's amazing. You see, he did all that from the dome. There's no teleprompter here. He's like, from the dome, no stuttering or anything. That was awesome.
Thank you, man. It was take 47. No? But I'm so happy to have you here, man. And
yeah,
I'm excited because, you know, and I always say I really should have the cameras go because there's always like the podcast before the podcast. But
yeah,
you know, but
I thought you were secretly. Actually,
yeah, it's the behind the scenes. I make people pay extra for it.
Names will be heard.
Yeah. But to dive in, you know, I actually want to talk about some of your and by the way, bro, you have so many credits. I think you're like 70 something credits. That's not just like episodes of television too, which probably give another 20 or so. You got your first Deadline article coming out.
Yeah, man. It's cool.
Oh, I guess it will have already come out by the time this episode because it comes out today.
Yeah, so Reasonable Doubt. Season 3 on Hulu, Onyx Collective, ABC, Disney. Yes, it's some.
Congratulations,
I'm excited, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. Excited to work with all those beautiful Black people. It's just a beautiful and different directors on every episode and different writers. So it's you meeting all of these amazing artists that don't live here, but then they come here and they see how you live, and it's like, hey, maybe I can move here. So
is that what's happening?
I'm optimistic for some. Yeah,
they're just
I'm optimistic for some writers' rooms to start here, man. I think if people start moving here, that'll happen.
That would be dope.
Yeah,
that is the next evolution of I think where Atlanta is at and where we've come from. Like that's the next evolution, right?
All these studios. Look at what Trilith is, a little mini city mall down there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can get everything you want down there.
Oh yeah.
You know, if I wasn't teaching in the city, I would definitely be moving down to Fayetteville, living down at Trilith. This is kind of a dream down there.
Yeah, Trilith is dope.
Yeah.
So, you know, we talked about the Deadline article, and that's a first for you.
Yeah, it is.
How's that feel? You know, because there's there's this ongoing next level, you know, for actors. And so even that is like, oh, I'm in a Deadline article, you know, this is dope. This is an accomplishment. Does it feel exciting, or does it feel part of that's just the next thing, or what does it feel like?
I'll tell you honestly in about 5 minutes when it comes out.
You don't know how it feels yet.
But I know what the chase of that feels like. Of booking 5 episodes on a television show, 5 episodes out of 10, and thinking that you're going to get a join the cast announcement, and you don't, because you're a local actor here in the Southeast, and you may get a guest star, you may get a co-star, but if you're shooting all those episodes and you're contributing to the story, you know, you're joining the cast. And so I felt, and so I felt like I was close, and then I didn't, you know, and this just happened 3 or 4 times, and I've hired a PR person to help me do it, a few PR people, and they said, well, you know, that's not, I'll try, but it's really hard to get that right. So, yeah, man. So it's a chase. So I'll be, and we're gonna see what it feels like. I know what the booking felt like. The booking felt earned. You know, the booking it felt like, yes, I'm fine. Yeah. You know, it felt like, thank you. You know, it felt like, I did that. You know, I went into the room and with confidence, because it was an in-person callback with with the number one on the show.
Was it? So it was like chemistry reading?
No, she was just sitting in the room, bro.
Oh, okay.
I think she's an EP on the show.
Okay, yeah.
And it didn't matter if she was or not. You know, I saw her and I was like, oh, you're here, great. And to see that, I'm a fan of the show and not be thrown by that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then having a banter conversation with Anton Cropper, who is you know, the producing director on the show, and we talking about LA. I'm from LA, he's from LA. We're vibing on that in the room. And I think, you know, that confidence or that level of comfort helps you book the job, because you're going to be spending a lot of time with people if you're doing, you know, 5 to 10 episodes of TV on a dramatic show, you know, about the culture, you know. So it was nice. It was the room felt nice, and it felt earned.
How was it getting back in the room? Did you, like, be honest? I mean, it sounded like you crushed it, obviously. I mean, when you booked it, but did it feel weird? Did it feel like you missed anything? Did it feel like you had to, you kind of tripped up at all? Or?
No, and you know why? Theater.
Yeah.
Theater. Theater. No, man, for real. You know, I don't keep one foot in and one foot out. I keep both feet in both things. I teach theater, I teach acting to students at the college. So I had a slow fall in terms of television and film, right? But God and the universe knows what you need. I directed 3 different shows in 4 months in 3 different states.
Damn.
During that time, and I was teaching, and I'm a father, and I'm a husband, right? So I'm doing all these things. And I think I'm doing them pretty good too, right? So there was one show at Spelman College that I directed with students. The playwright Lydia Diamond came to see the show. She liked it so much she came back twice. She did 2 talkbacks. She had never seen the production of that show. It was the first show she ever written. She had never seen a production of it, right? So I was honored by that.
Yeah.
And then that show closed, and then the next day I went to Florida American Stage to direct The Mountaintop by Katori Hall, who is the showrunner for P-Valley, right? I directed that show and put it up in 2 weeks, which is unheard of. You usually get 4 to 6 weeks, right? So I did that at a mid-sized theater. And then a month after that, I went to Alabama Shakespeare Festival and directed a show called The Watsons Go to Birmingham, where I had 2 kids who had never acted before, and I taught them how to act, right? So that's a major Lort theater, you know. So I was busy, man, and I think being in those rooms, teaching those people, learning from those people, gaining from those people, having community with those people and those artists. Everybody's an artist, right? So no matter what level you are, if you're serious about the craft or your artistry, or at least the community of it, then there's no disrespect. So I came into the room with that level of comfort because of theater.
I love that.
Yeah.
You said that there are a couple people that you taught to act. They never acted before, so you taught them to act. What would you say is like the foundational thing that is like, when I have a lot of time, you got to do this, and you're gonna be successful.
Fall forward, you know, fall forward. I taught them from a movement basis. I mean, they have personalities. They never had an acting class before, but they auditioned for me and they booked it. So they booked the show. They earned the role. They weren't given the role. But then when we got in the process, I didn't realize they had never had an acting class before. And so it was like, you know, doing the table read, like, this is when you read, you don't read the stage directions. Really, that's how it started. And then by the end of the process, this young man, this 10-year-old young man, great actor, he had to embody himself drowning on stage with using lights and sound, but he was doing the movement. So I was teaching him Laban efforts, right? Laban efforts.
Yeah.
And so we were doing that, and I taught him those 8 efforts, and so he gave us community and communication and how he could embody it, and we use that throughout the process. And yeah, man, it's very effective. I teach my students that, and then I taught this young man that. I'm like, wow, that's a very effective tool for actors. You know, so.
If you're trying to get seen in your acting career, I have good news for you. Whether you are here in Atlanta or want to travel in for an in-studio workshop, or you're tuning in from elsewhere and you want to join us via Zoom. We have also online different workshops where we bring in some of the top agents and casting directors in the Southeast to help move your career forward. If you go ahead to the description right now, you'll find a 10% off promo that we rarely put out there, but we did think that we wanted to thank you so much for tuning in and watching our awesome shows. So I want to make sure to gift that 10% promo so you can join us for an in-studio workshop with an agent or casting director, or one that's online that will enable you to get seen and move your career forward. Hell yeah, hell yeah. You talked about directing, also being a father, a husband. Your wife is also a director.
Yeah, she is. She's the best director.
Yeah,
she's dope.
How is that balancing act for you? I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, because I find it, I think it's interesting because I think for people in the business, right? I think there's certain people that are in the business, their spouse has nothing to do with it, and then there's like pros and cons to that, but they like don't truly understand it, right? But then you have somebody that is also in the business, so they do understand it, but then like they almost like need more, support or like coddling than,
Yeah,
like,
I'm probably on that side of the spectrum.
Yeah. So like, how is there anything that like you've really learned from that balancing act, or maybe something that you're trying to improve, or something that maybe you think you do really well?
I think what I do really well is I realize that I'm flawed, right? And I think if you accept that you can't always be right, I mean, you're usually right, but
Yeah.
I'm usually right, but I'm okay with not being right.
Yeah.
And I don't have to prove that I'm right because it'll come out. It's okay, no, fine. People say, "Oh, you're being a martyr." No, I'm not being a martyr. I'm just saying it's not worth this fight. And being okay with everything not being a fight and just being submissive to whatever the situation is, not the person, the situation, being what the situation calls for, I think helps me balance. And a lot of times, man, that's it's humility, and I think for men that's hard. Because the ego,
Have you grown that?
How have I grown that?
Yeah.
I'm a grandfather, man. I mean, life, seeing how other people,
Yeah, by the way, you just like look like the dopest grandfather ever.
No.
Yo,
Hey, Iva.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. Yeah. Thank you, man. Oh, self-promotion. Mountaintop by Keith Arthur Bolden, directed by Keith Arthur Bolden. Wait, I was on.
How have you grown your humility?
Oh, I think time, man, and really observing, humans, the human experience, human nature, and really seeing what people's choices do for them, and saying, if I do it differently, then I won't have that. I'll have something different. It may not be better, may not be worse, but it won't be that. I know it won't be that, and I'm willing to explore what it could be because I know I don't want it to be that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think making a decision that, I mean, it's hard, man. It's all hard. It's all a difficult balance. And sometimes, like for me, my thing is being seen, right? I'm an actor, right? I want to be seen. TV and film is fulfilling in a lot of ways, but your theater is where you're really seen and you can go in and feel that connection. And I don't know what that being seen, get seen, being seen. I don't know what that is about with me, man. My youngest son too, Kingsley, he has that too, where he likes to be around people, and sometimes it can be debilitating, But I've found a way to evolve, and I think that came with the humility. I think they can't maybe people don't like you, so like yourself. Right, I chose to not be depressed about that, but learn to like myself better. So I spend a lot of time by myself in my car, singing karaoke. If you ever see me,
Yo, karaoke's the truth, bro.
That's my thing, boy. Karaoke. They call me Karaoke Keith. So yeah. Anyway,
I love that. How do you find yourself also being a fantastically supportive husband?
Same answer, humility.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's bright. No, it's bright.
So you say, oh no, it's too much. My glasses back on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna get serious for a moment.
You're still allowed. You can just do it in the glasses.
It seems cartoonish. I want to make sure they hear the people hear me. Maybe they hear me. Man, I don't book any comedy, man. Like, I think I'm funny.
Yeah, I've laughed.
Right? We laughed for 30 minutes before we even signed on to you.
Yeah.
That's behind the scenes. But yeah, man, I like my wife. We were friends for a while.
Well, I'm going to ask a different question. How has it changed? Like, how has your support changed? How about that?
It hasn't.
Okay.
Right. So I was at a point in my life where I knew I wanted to find a life mate when I was in grad school. So, but every relationship I'm in, I treat it like what a marriage might look like. So I always treated her that way. I think you heard the story before, but our first summer together, we did 30,000 miles on the car in 2.5 months, just the two of us, right? That's a lot of time together, and working, doing theater together. We just did a 2-person show, right? Touring theaters. And so I've always been that guy. Let me pick that up for you. Boom, boom. Let me open this door for you. Boom, 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 boom. And I tell dudes that I counsel this, like, look, you cannot weaponize your treatment of your person. If you're upset, if your bar is you open doors for them, then you open the door even when you're mad. Mm-hmm. If you are getting gas, you get gas even when you're mad, because they're used to that. And once you take that away, because you weaponize it because you're in your feelings, and they can't trust you. So I think that's why we have this trust, is because I've been consistent in my treatment of her, even when I'm mad or sleepy. Or like I was up this morning till 4:00 putting away her clothes from her travel, right? Because she was gone for a month and a half directing this amazing show at the Geffen Playhouse. And the clothes have been there because she's been working. She also is an artistic director of the Alliance Theater. She hasn't had time. So last night I just made time, had me a little wine, put on some Anita Baker, and put all the clothes up, including my clothes. So, I put most of it. She woke up this morning like, oh my God, thank you so much. I appreciate that support. Because she has to leave town tomorrow, and she probably couldn't think in that muck. And I was thinking about, she has to pack. She has to get her mind right. Because she put her desk was a mess for the last week. And I came in last night and it was all clean. I said, oh, you cleaned your desk? She said, yeah, I had to. I just couldn't. And I was like, shoot, I'm clean. I'm putting these clothes up tonight. That's what support looks like.
Yeah.
It's a long story.
No, that's good. I mean, and I like that, I think support is, because I wasn't even thinking of it as just like something kind of basic like that. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it could be that easy.
Is that I buy flowers every 2 weeks. I put them in the house. I arrange them.
Yeah.
Right. Consistency with that.
Keith Arthur Bolden, the florist.
Yeah, man. You should see me. I put on a little apron, some shears, scissors. I need to get some shears. But no, man, I cook the kids breakfast every morning, take them to school every morning,
What's breakfast?
Oh man, these kids, it's so good they don't even eat it all. They got it made, man. They get usually these Belgian waffles. I have this great waffle maker that make Belgian waffles, these sweet cream Belgian waffles. Those croissants, it's good, right? I make really good scrambled eggs, like the best in the world.
Best in the world.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, on my mama. I'm telling you. So
we're about to go downstairs and have scrambled eggs right now.
I'm telling you. And then some bacon, and then they get juice. They get some grapes and strawberries or blueberries.
Dang,
that's what they get every morning, man.
Yo, let's go.
Right. So I've been blessed. My wife trained me to do that. She was insistent when Kingston was in preschool, even though they had made breakfast for him at preschool. We paid for it. She still wanted him to leave the house with a hot meal, and every morning she would get up and do it. And I just couldn't allow her to be the only person involved in that. So now I do it. All right. So it's just
yeah. So going back to the business stuff.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got to talk about love all day.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Teach you something.
I mean, the truth is, you got to have that right to be able to perform well, to show up well.
The
So,
only way she could go to LA for a month and a half and leave her children is because she knew they were good with me.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, the balance stuff is very important.
Yeah, for sure.
I do want to talk about, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's like, constantly kind of getting to the next level within it. And I remember I knew Hannah Marks, who was a series regular on Satisfaction. And I remember I had to go out to LA for something, and I went out before I went out to LA. I was talking with my roommate, and we were kind of frustrated about getting smaller auditions.
Yeah.
Right. We're like, how do we get these bigger auditions?
Yeah.
And then I went out to LA and I talked with Hannah, who's a series regular on a show.
Yeah.
And then she was like kind of complaining at lunch, like, I didn't get to audition for the lead in the new Amazing Spider-Man. I had a small role. And I was like, oh my God, it's the exact same complaint, just at a different level.
Yeah.
Different level.
Yeah, man.
And
that's perspective.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I feel like, for actors that are maybe watching, listening, that, maybe they're looking for their agent, looking for their first co-star, looking for the next booking or whatever. Yeah. It's like, it never goes away.
No.
Like,
more money, more problems. You know what I mean? More opportunities, more problems, or more focused problems. Really, your wants become more focused. And we said this too. Like, when you start getting that itch, it's time to kind of level up. But you have to be at that level for a minute before the itch starts. It's not ambition. It's these people here aren't interesting anymore. These stories aren't interesting anymore. This story is not moving me forward anymore. And that's kind of what happened to me about 4 years ago. I was like, I'm around people that aren't moving me forward. And so, not that I shunned them, I just started spending less time with them and more time with other people who were moving forward, right? And not that those people got me jobs or opportunities, but the energy of being around that. And the conversations are elevated and they're more personal because we trust each other with more things because there's more at stake, right? If you happen to have a celebrity friend, right? I'm from LA, so I had a few, right? If you hold space for people who carry a lot and they trust you, you start to feel a shift happening because, this person's trusting me. Then I can trust myself. I can trust myself with this information and keep it to myself. I'm rambling a bit, but
you're good.
Yeah, am I good? I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I think that I think when you have opportunities to be in space with people, you need to be in space with people and not look for opportunities. Look for opportunity for space, not for space for opportunity.
Yes.
Right. So be in that space and just listen, and you might learn something. You might gain a friend. You might not gain a friend, but if you just allow.
I mean, you're talking about like true connection, and I think in this industry, yes, so often it's like, oh shit, yeah. So how could I use you for my benefit, as opposed to just really connecting? If something comes from it, then great. I mean, true relationships.
Yeah, man.
You talked about kind of your circle, right? When you're talking about like leveling up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like everyone kind of knows this saying. It's like you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're in a place where you're like trying to get to the next level, like how, like you said, like I'm not shunning them. I love what you said. Like the stories get boring. Like for some reason I was like, gosh, that makes so. Like when I decided I wanted to marry Candace, like it's because like you're so right. You're like, it's like, oh, because I was like playing the field and dating a bunch of people and those stories.
Because you're gorgeous. Have you seen this man? You seen his face? Look at him. Look, porcelain. Look at him. The teeth.
But you're right. Like those stories got boring. It's like, let's start to have new stories and a more meaningful relationship.
And the experiences got boring. Like we're doing the same thing.
Yes.
Oh man.
Exactly.
We're doing nothing new.
Well, so when it comes to the business, then how are you not shunning those relationships, but being like, I gotta have different relationships if I want to get to the next level?
The universe works that out. You have less time. It's not that you're spending more time with those people. You're spending more time because you've been inspired to do more things other than being stationary. So you just have less time, but the time you have, the time you can make, you making is meaningful with those people. And I think I do have a good balance, man, because I'm really good at texting people and reaching out. The world's made it really easy to keep in touch with people through social media or texting. And I feel I probably feel overheard by a lot of my friends. They're probably like, God dang, this mother sucker calling again. But because I care about those connections, I don't want to lose those connections. So it takes work.
And we kind of talked about some balance within the relationship. Can you also talk about, you talked about directing and you also teach, right? And we kind of a little bit on that, but like specifically about teaching, how has that like impacted your life in a positive way? Because I think giving and mentoring and helping is so important and so fulfilling.
It is, and it's a challenge too, because you have some people who I have a healthy ego. I don't think it's salacious, right? I think it's healthy because are we cursing?
Yeah.
Because people don't fuck with me. Because why? He's happy, right? My confidence is in my happiness and my secure in my happiness, and that I can make people happy. And so when some people see that, they don't like it. And I have some students who are like, oh, you're just like me. I'm just like you. We're on the same level. You have too much ego. Really? We're on the same. I'm a grandfather. So just that in itself, we're not on the same level, right? So you have some students like that. But then you have other students who are like, I'm graduating from grad school tomorrow. And thank you for always being in my corner, believing in me. That happened yesterday. I got another student who's graduating with her MFA from Yale in directing. And if not for myself and a couple of other professors, she never would have found, because she came in as a pre-med major and then thought she wanted to be an actor. And then we found this way of storytelling for her, right? Stuff like that is really fulfilling to me, man. When I look back when I talk about legacy, remember the legacy of the people or the people you've influenced. I had one of the best semesters I've had teaching at Spelman this past semester because of the cohort of students that are in this one class. They're just amazing. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah.
I did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's fulfilling, but challenging.
Yeah.
But challenging. There's a lot of bureaucracy, too. Do you have to go? I'm a tenured, so it's a lot of stuff that goes along with that. And people don't understand artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know you had talked about the lifestyle you've been able to live and build compared to like in New York and LA.
Yeah.
How so? Because I feel like this comes up a good amount on the podcast too. It's just like the difference of the Southeast compared to New York and LA, and how and I think people here take it for granted.
Singing the blue. That's Georgia, baby. That's Georgia. So, you know what I'm saying? Georgia. Oh, Georgia. It's Georgia's cool. I never thought I'd live in the Southeast. I visited a long time ago to Charlotte, to North Carolina. I thought it was beautiful. I'd never seen highways like that. Right? I mean, I had been to Oregon, but I was too young to really remember that. So I was like, I could retire here. Retire from what at this point? I had no idea. But and then getting this job, I knew there was theater here, but I didn't know there was an industry of film and television. So I came here and I auditioned. Wait, no. I booked more than I even auditioned in LA. Right? I didn't get. I might have gotten an audition a month in LA. How can you get better at something if you don't get enough runs at it? So
right.
I was working a job. I had an MFA. I didn't feel like I didn't want to take any classes. Couldn't afford classes. So I just did theater in LA, and that kept me sharp, right? Because I wasn't doing any television and film. So when I got to Atlanta, man, I was ready, because the opportunities kept coming, and I just kept getting better and better and better at self-taping. And so, a guy told me one time to his acting note in the class, he said, was tickle the camera. You have to tickle the camera. It's like, oh, okay, I can try to tickle it. What can I do to tickle it?
Yeah.
You have to. It's that thing that you bring that tickles it. Nobody else will tickle it the way you tickle it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's there's some tangibles there, I think.
Well, wait. How do you tickle the camera?
How do I tickle the camera?
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't let my secrets out.
No.
No. I think it's good for movement to either to enter into a frame, right, or to turn into. I always fade in and fade out to give a sense of beginning and finality. So you're watching a scene instead of watching a clip. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I shoot from a 2T up, right? So it's the bottom of the chest. I don't do a long waist. I think it's too far to really see.
Yeah.
And then I always try to get a gesture into the frame. I don't just stand there. Like if there's some thought that's gonna happen, it's gonna be some thought that's gonna happen. Like it's gonna be it's gonna be something. It's gonna be there's gonna be some gesture in the camera. So those are the things I do to kind of tickle the camera.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. But there are other things I talk about: strong beginning, strong ending, moments of discovery, moments of decision. Stuff
Yeah, I
like
love
that.
discovery.
I always
Find the moments. Like discoveries and find the moments are kind of the same to me.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you go into, it says, someone comes in, notices they interrupted us, right? Like that's written. It's a moment. Obviously that's written.
Right.
Right. But, the moment that's maybe not written is that like, you like are happy that you did that. You're like, yeah, bitches. You know what I mean? But that's not written, but you get to make it that.
Yeah.
You get to make
that choice.
Yeah, you get to do that.
And it might not be the right choice, but it's a choice, and that
Yep.
might be the thing to get you the job because you actually can come in and make a choice that's not on the page.
Exactly. Can you talking about like getting the job? Can you talk about like, I feel like I've discovered, speaking of discoveries, I've discovered that often the audition that books you the role is like not what you do on set. They're different.
The audition that you book the role is not the role you do on set.
Like how you book it is not necessarily what you do on set. Like you got to bring more. What do you think?
It depends on the size of the role.
Yeah.
Right. And so if it's under 5, you probably should do what you did on the tape.
Yeah, that's true.
But because they're not going to have a lot of conversation with you because you're just driving the story forward. What you can do is make sure that your reactions are tight and they're consistent. And if you do it the same each time and they get deeper, like nobody's giving you a note to change your reaction, keep the reaction. Don't give them a whole bunch of variety because you probably won't make the cut. But if you're consistent each time, you get deeper each time, you'll make the cut. They can cut to you. You're giving the editor a cutting point, right?
Yep.
So I think that if you're having conversations with producers and directors on the side, they're talking to you, then you probably are not shooting what you audition with.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But I keep those tapes to go back in reference, So just in case I book the audition, I want to go back and see what I did because I'll forget.
Yeah.
I get it here and I dump it. That's what this market's trained you to do. I think I can memorize a page a minute of dialogue, television or film dialogue, and I could dump it in after a couple of hours. It's probably hurt my personal life a little bit. I don't remember some stuff, but I was also getting older.
I find it interesting that you said that's what this market has like taught us to do. I'm like, dang, that's so true. Cause like, yeah, like we get more auditions than like LA and New York could even freaking imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cause it's smaller stuff too. Like, like not anymore, cause I've decided.
Well, it's not only not anymore, but we're getting both.
Both. Yes.
The small roles and the larger roles.
Well,
now.
maybe you.
Maybe
everybody's
me.
not getting the large roles.
No, come on. Talking about you got a deadline article coming out today.
Well, that's today. But man, I mean, I would have kept auditioning for Costars if I allowed it. And there was a point I decided that it wasn't worth my time.
But how do you decided it wasn't worth your time?
Because I had enough of those credits already.
You mean like under 5s?
Under 5?
What about the co-stars that end up being recurring? What about those? How do you know? Because so often it doesn't tell you. You know what I mean? Like if I think of my booking in First Wives Club, it was a co-star, 1 episode. By the time it's done, 6 episodes, recurring guest star.
Great.
But like, how do you?
You
like,
don't.
So you're like, I'm not risking it. I don't care.
You don't. Yeah, I think what it is I just made it. I got the full-time job. Wife got the job. I got the kids. I have the balance. Is it worth my time to take that shot to go shoot this one day and make $1,200? Is it gonna to inconvenience the whole circle?
Yeah.
That's what I had to decide. And at that point, it just wasn't worth it because I have classes and stuff. I'm gonna cancel class or move class for a character with no name.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
Yeah. So I just me and Jason had a conversation. He said, if you're ready for that, then just know you're gonna have less auditions. I said, I'm cool with that.
Yep.
And that was the advice of the manager. Actually,
Okay.
he said you shouldn't do it anymore. If you want to, you have to decide to.
Yeah.
Because I'm also trying to work in different markets too. So I want to say that too. L.A., Chicago, New York, here.
How's that journey been like as an artist? Like to be like, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I'm only going to do this larger stuff. I'm trying to do these other markets, like because that's a whole other, new level, new devil.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. You said artist, right? And for a long time, I didn't consider myself an artist. I considered myself an actor, right? But I work in 3 different mediums, right? Television, film, and theater, right? And I'm directing, acting, and producing in theater, right? So I'm an artist. And I'm a very supportive artist of other artists. Like I go to New York to see New York theater. I go to see theater here. I donate to theaters, when they ask for money. And not a lot of money, but I'm a supporter of the arts, and especially theater, because I think I think it's theater should be accessible for everybody, but I don't think everybody should be accessible to the stage, right? I think you should train and earn. Everybody's not made for it, right? But if you there are other ways of telling stories besides being on the stage. You can produce. You can run a box office. You can work in catering on film and TV. There are other ways of supporting the story that might fulfill you more than being in front of the camera or on stage. And I think a lot of people's ego doesn't allow them to receive that. I went off on a tangent. How did I get there?
I like that, because this has come up before.
Can I say this one more time? Sorry.
Yeah.
If you think about it, maybe besides visual arts, painting, acting is the only art form that you can wake up in the morning and say I'm an actor. You can't wake up and say I'm a dancer, right? You can't go opera, and be successful, right? I'm an actor. You can walk through the mall and somebody will tell you you're an actor. It could be because you're the right look, and all of a sudden you number one on the damn show, or number one on the top of number one on a big movie with Tom Cruise, number 2 or something like that, just because of the way you look, not because of anything else. And you may have some talent, but they don't know that just because you. What other art form can you do that?
Does that make you mad?
It irritates me a bit because it's not a respect. Because of that, it's not a respected art form for a lot of people, right? You talk about musicians. Musicians won't work until they get paid.
So then what do you think? To be successful, because like you're at a place that you've booked a bunch, you're wanting to work in other markets. Like you're like, I'm not doing the Costar stuff anymore. Yeah. And based on your life, because of the balance and all the stuff that you have going on, what advice would you say you would want to give to an actor that it's like this is your way to success? Because I honestly, if I'm being honest, like I'm not even like, you seem like a classes kind of guy, like really study the art. Yeah. But then there's like another element that's like, well, maybe you don't even need it. Like it's like what? I
was 8 or 9 years old, and I may talk about this before. I wrote a play.
When you were 8?
Like 8 or 9 years old. It's about a 30-minute play about the birth of Christ. We're really, Christian, went to church, every Bible study and church, right? I produced it at the house with my cousins. My mom had 12 brothers and sisters, so we had a lot of cousins. Made the costumes with towels on our head to be the good shepherds and put belts around it, and I got pictures somewhere, right?
Yeah.
It was about 30 minutes. It was good, and it was so good they wanted a second performance, and we did it again. There was a heater in the ground that I used to be the voice of the devil, right? I had never seen a play before though.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd never seen a play before, so and then when I went to college, I'm in a fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I was the choreographer for the step shows that we did. So, and when I go back and look at what I used to do, I used to write diagrams. I did blocking, right? And I had just become a theater major, but I intuitively knew how to do that stuff. But it wasn't nurtured for 10 years. So whatever could have been in that 10 years, I'm trying to make up for now, right? Because I lost 10 years of development. And then when I got to school, everybody was cynical about me being a theater major. Oh, just get that degree. You could be a postal worker. Just get the degree. You won't be an actor. Even my teachers. I was nominated for Irene Ryan 4 times when I was in undergrad. I never competed for it because he said, you're never going to win. They're never going to let a nigga win. That's what he said. He was black. He was just keeping it real with me.
Yeah.
You're never going to let a brother win. So I said what I said. So yeah, man. So I a lot of times I think about that. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I think about that, and I'm like, yeah, people don't need classes, right? But they need nurturing. If you see it, my youngest Kingsley had his first audition last week for Reasonable Doubt, and he is adorable, right? He was great. He did 3 takes. He knew what he wanted to do. He walked into the frame. He had a gesture, right? He had emotion. He had vocal variety, and then he had an ad lib at the end, right? And then he told us wonderful stories for Erica Arvold. So she likes the stories, right? So he told a story about his singing in the car with his dad, and his favorite songs are Hotel California and Time by the Bird. And he had a hard time remembering, and then he stopped, and then he got excited, right? So there's personality there. Then he sang the wrong words to Hotel California, and then he forgot the rest of it, and he was so adorable, right? I'm nurturing that, right? I see something in him, an interest in him that is not necessarily like me, but what an artist is. His brother's a visual artist. He don't want to be bothered by nobody. He's like, get the fuck away from me. I'm drawing. I don't want to talk, right? He's very singular in that, and he's amazing. So I think, and we're nurturing that. So I think when you see, you say you don't need classes, I think there are people with a natural thing, but you have to nurture it and then frame it, put them into classes at a young, if you see it at a young age, right? If you're older and you've always been this personality and you think you can do it, then take a couple of classes so you learn the form, so you learn what it is to be on set or be on stage, so you know what the directions to go and what the hierarchy is, so you know the rules of engagement. And that's all I'm asking. That's all I want, is everybody to respect it as a craft and a business and not an opportunity to make more money for yourself. Because everybody, 50 to 100 people are concentrating on getting this one thing perfect, this one shot perfect. And if you don't understand the stamina and the thought that went into that and the respect for it, then do something else. If you're not there to support that vision, then do something else. Now, of course, there's some talking, laughing. I'm a jokester on camera, man. But when it comes to, if we're shooting, I'm not messing around, because I know what it's cost everybody to be there, to be away from their families, to move to Georgia for 5 or 6 months to shoot this thing, to not be around your people, right? That's not about color. That's about people supporting the vision. And that's on television, that's on film, and that's on theater. Learn what the rules of engagement are.
I love the nurturing, man, because I think there's like so many different elements within what we're doing, and it could be craft, or it could be technical when you're like auditioning, or on set, or communication, or within your own confidence, the relationships. There's just so many different elements to this. Yeah. And I think if we focus on that word that you're using, which is nurturing, right? It's like, I'm going to nurture this element right now. You know, this element I want to nurture more. And if you continue to nurture, like you're saying, you will grow. Yeah.
I have a quote on my posted in my office: if you feed the human, you'll feed the artist, right? And vice versa, right? I think that nurturing is a I like that, you know.
That's like you said it.
Oh, did I? Yeah. I mean, that grip, that grip is nurturing that job. This is my job. I'm nurturing this to make sure. That's man. We need to write a book on that shit.
All right, I will.
Yeah,
put it in.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you've written a couple, haven't you?
I wrote one. It's over there.
Right, there it is.
But another one's coming.
Is it?
No, it's coming.
Soon. To a bookshelf near you.
Yeah, it's coming.
You had one more question. You said 2.
You know, but
I'm enjoying this, man.
But I feel like the nurturing was good though.
Oh man, I got more.
You got more gems?
I mean, I got more, bro. Please talk to me. Yes. I'm so lonely. Karaoke Keith.
Karaoke Keith. Karaoke Keith.
Karaoke. Both, man.
Yeah. No, but it's the spotlight sign up. So it's actually 5 questions.
Oh, shit.
5 questions, bro. You're not getting away with just one. 5. Okay. All right, here we go. 5 questions and strong. Number 1, what's something you're super grateful for today?
This conversation, your energy. Today, I'm grateful for this.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. And you know the connection, right?
Yeah,
it's the connection. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
If you want more connection, you got to put the effort out. You had to come over here. You had to commit. You had to put it on your schedule.
I sure did.
You had to do it.
I had the
right?
drive from that massage I just came from.
Nice.
Yeah.
No.
So it was a relaxing ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm grateful, man. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, man. Question 2. This one will be good.
Okay.
This one's gonna be good. What is a film, television show, or book that changed the trajectory of your life?
Well, I'll be honest. I don't read a lot outside of scripts and plays. I wish I did. I'm such a visual person. I love film and TV. Right. I have to say, man. I mean, God, I've consumed so much.
But like, there's got to be one. Like for example,
Can I
like
give two?
yeah,
Can it be a song too?
yeah. A song. All right. I don't think we've had a song. All right, a
well,
song.
I'm a rebel, baby. I'm a maverick.
Let's do
you
it.
know what I'm saying?
All right.
Maverick.
Yeah. Where is it?
So the song is earliest memory of a song for me is The Greatest Love of All, right? Not the Whitney Houston version, but the Bill Withers version. That was the theme song for Muhammad Ali's movie The Greatest, where I saw my first movie at the Baldwin Hills Theater when I was 5 years old or 4 years old when that movie came out, and my mom brought that record for me, and I played it over and over again. Cut to when I was 16, I got a job at that same theater, became a triplex, and it was opening night of Do the Right Thing, 1989. It was the most electrifying experience I ever had. So the Baldwin Theater, that song, all those things are intertwined, right?
Oh, all right.
Y'all know
all
The
right.
Greatest Love? The greatest love of all is happening to me. I had to find that note. And,
Let's go.
Yeah, man.
Get 'em a label.
Karaoke keys, baby. Karaoke keys, hey. Leslie Odom Jr., baby, duet time. So the other thing, man, The Last Dragon. Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. You know this movie?
No.
Oh man, oh man. Where you from? Canada?
What?
Where you
No, I'm from Florida.
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 Same thing.
Went to school in New York.
You don't know? You don't know The Last Dragon? Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon is one of the last Motown films that was made, but it was
I did like Motown.
yeah,
right.
but it's not that kind of Motown. It's
Oh.
80s Motown, so it's
All right.
it's Vanity. It stars in the movie. If you know Vanity, Vanity 6. Nasty Girl.
No.
You think I'm a nasty girl?
Oh,
You think when to come with me? You think I'm a nasty girl?
That sounds
Pleased to
familiar.
meet you.
Hold on, you're
Didn't
singing that
wanna
right
tell you
now,
my
and I was like,
name.
wait, Nasty. I'm like, yo, that's Janet Jackson.
No, that's no. But
Yeah.
maybe at the girls. Hello, pleased to meet you. Didn't
We're gonna have
wanna
to put it
say
on
my name. You ever see
Spotify.
Beverly Hills Cop?
Shit, that's a
Oh my
long
God.
time ago.
This is the worst podcast interview ever. These questions are terrible. Listen, so The Last Dragon is a movie about a young African American man in Harlem who is a kung fu master. He's on the search for his master so he can reach the final level of the glow. When you got that glow, you feel the glow. When you got that glow,
Keith Arthur Bolden right now. Do you think
Sorry.
that we're just
Yeah.
gonna call it what it is? I'm pretty white.
yeah,
And you're
you
like,
are
yo,
pretty white,
like
pretty white.
You're like,
white.
you're surprised I didn't see the movie of the black dude in Harlem who's a kung fu master.
Yes.
You're surprised I missed this movie.
And his nemesis was named Shownuff. he would say, who's the baddest? Shownuff. Who's the prettiest? Shownuff. Who's the I forgot the rest of it. Who's low down around this town? The Shogun.
How did this movie change the trajectory of your life?
Okay, I'll tell you. So when I was in the 5th grade, there was 3 and 5 are significant numbers in my life. Looking at, I got married at 35. So listen, there was a career day in the 5th grade, Virginia Road Elementary in Los Angeles, and an executive from Motown came and talked about this movie that was coming out. He talked about.
So they didn't tell me about the movie coming out. You knew about it. That's not fair.
Well, I mean, you weren't around. Well, you were in LA. You were in Canada somewhere.
Florida.
Same thing. Blame Florida.
Yeah.
Blame Canada. Same thing. Syllabically. So listen, I'm gonna tell you a story.
All right, I'm ready.
So
you're at
So
school.
he's talking about this movie and these artists like DeBarge. You know the group DeBarge. You need to up your black quotient. All right, let's go. We need some more black content. We get some brothers on the wall.
Hold on. At least I'm being honest.
No, I appreciate it.
I could be the guy that's like, oh yeah.
I'm gonna send Jesse. I'm gonna send Jesse a list.
All right.
And links. But no,
all right,
no, listen.
Okay.
This is. I mean, so he was talking about all these artists that are gonna be on this record, and he talked about this movie. And this is kung fu, and he's black, and he's young, and I was like, wow. And I had this inside scope. It was like, I don't know, 5 months before the movie came out. So one day I'm walking from Burger King, going home, and there's a poster of the movie. You know, because they used to build the scaffoldings, and they would put posters up. And I took one of those posters off, and I hung it up in my room. And I was so excited about this movie. I showed up. Fudge did. Let me tell you something. 5-finger discount. Don't come after me. It's been years. It's been over 30 years. Wow, 40 years.
Dang, they're coming.
They're coming, man. They're coming. So listen, I felt like I had an inside scoop. That was my first inside scoop to industry.
Yeah, right? No, I feel that. That's exciting.
It was. It was like, oh, wow. And then I watched the movie. So my dad had to come in the theater and get me. I would go to the theater every weekend and watch the movie. And one time I was on my 3rd time watching it. It was between that and Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. You ever seen that?
Nope.
I want to read reparations. No, listen. So it's fine. You didn't need to. You don't need to. A Golden Globe is production. See, I even know all these names. I have all this useless. I need a podcast with useless.
So that one was it changed the trajectory because you felt like you had the inside scoop.
I felt like
you stole the poster.
I lived in LA and I wanted to be an actor, and I was a kid. My mom took me to get headshots, and they told her what the price was, and then she said, "Hell no." And that was the end of those dreams. And after I had written that play,
and then they took the Polaroid and they wound it.
No, wow, no,
you remember that shit?
Man, I do. I remember
the throwaway camera. They called it.
That was that one.
The wine.
They still sell those. Actually,
they do. Yeah, like for nostalgia,
for weddings and stuff like that. Yeah. But who's going to develop that shit? I'm not going to Walmart
CVS,
to develop it. I'm not. The people there, they don't want to help you. I think it's going to do the thing.
That's true.
Develop? What that mean? I can't.
All right.
I don't know where that voice came from.
Well, you're an actor. All right. Question 3. What is something in your daily routine that you cherish? The world's best scrambled eggs.
I mean, that's close, actually. I enjoy people enjoying my cooking.
Yeah.
And I always challenge myself. Like I'm always cooking 3 or 4 things at the same time. And I try to time them all out so it's all hot at the same time.
Yeah.
And I wash as I go along so I don't have a dirty kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm always moving. So like, can you need help in the kitchen? No, stay the fuck out my way. Right? Because
that's you.
But no, I'm not mean like that. But
no.
Like,
I mean, like you're like the.
I'm cutting fruit.
Chef.
I'm doing about
You're kitchen master.
20 minutes. I'm done. As opposed to let me keep this warm. And I can't do it. It's like I want to move. I work well under pressure.
Yeah.
Right. I realized that I had a family member who had a health crisis recently, and I realized how good I am under pressure. Yeah. So,
that's important.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. But that's how I work too. Like, I love trying to get something in, under time. If there's pressure to get the shot in, I'm gonna perform.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like Jordan. Not really.
I'm like Jordan in the theater.
I'm like Magic. I'm from LA, man. I'm a Magic player. I'm a Magic fan. Magic Johnson.
No, I know.
Irvin Magic Johnson. You know Magic Johnson?
I do.
Finally.
Finally. No, I actually did an event. I did an event and he was there.
Oh,
so
yeah?
I got a signed basketball from him and I gifted it to Jason.
Wow, man. You're really good friends. I would never give Jason that shit.
Yeah. No, I just learned that about you. You're like, oh shit, Magic. I'm like, yo, dang. Normally it's over there.
He didn't even he likes the Joker. Why are you giving him Magic stuff? Joker, Magic. I see what it did.
He likes collecting this stuff.
Joker and Magic and Joker. Jokers do magic. Okay, go ahead. He was what now?
Question 4. Okay. What are you currently working on in your life right now?
Listening. No. What am I currently working on? I mean, personally, no. Personally, I put on a little weight. So, I was really proud of the weight I put off, but so I'm working on that. and not really like physically, but like mentally. What's going on with me to make me put that on? Because
that's good.
Right?
No, that's good. Because there's one thing to be like, I'm gonna go to the gym, I gotta walk more. To be like, yo, what? How did I let myself do this?
Well, I had an injury. I had an injury in the shoulder. I had torn. I had a rotator cuff was torn for a little bit, or a slight tear. So I took time off, but I did other things that didn't help support and nurture what I had done. Mm-hmm. We're gonna stick with this nurture thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Excuse me. And man, I'm an honest person. I'm an emotional person. And sometimes honesty and emotion are misunderstood. So I'm working with because sometimes you're emotionally honest, So, and that can show up in a lot of different ways: laughter, tears, silence. So I'm trying to really think about how I show up and how present I am for what I need, but also what my friends and family and co-stars and stuff need too. I want to be the best communicator I can be, and sometimes people don't listen well.
I'm gonna say that you're like, because you said some people don't listen, and I think you might be right. But if we're always putting on other people, then we're just always gonna be frustrated. So I'm gonna just put it back on you, which is like, we got to be the best communicator that we can be. So like, I love that that's a goal and something that you're like wanting to work on. Because,
but I was talking about me listening.
Oh, you said other people don't listen.
I said people don't. In
general, you just mean people. In
general.
But you're part. Oh, you're part of it. You're part
other
of
people
it.
don't listen to me.
Yeah. Well, no.
Other people don't listen when I talk. They keep trying to talk.
And they're not listening.
They're not listening if you're talking. No. I think people in general, they listen for buzzwords to be responsive. And what I've tried to do over the years is let them get it out. But sometimes you gotta take notes, and that can seem condescending if you're writing down. Oh yeah, that's a good one. If that's not it, I'm just trying to organize because I want to respond to everything that's being said. But sometimes we try to dump it because we're on a roll. We dump everything. It's like, but I want to respond to that one thing before you go to the next thing.
Question 5 is: if you want everyone to get one thing for sure, it could be something we already talked about or something brand new. You made sure everyone got it. What would it be?
Wow, man, that's a genie wish, right? You can't get 3 of those. You just get one.
Just one.
And it's a tangible thing, or is it a skill set? What is it? It could be anything. Okay, you didn't say, so I'll just it's fine. It's all right, actor.
Sure. I'm gonna just let you decide.
Whatever your interpretation is, what do you think it is? Some actory shit. Fun.
Whatever you say is right.
I think I know. That's how we started this conversation. I'm usually right.
And don't worry, I'm gonna listen while you talk.
Are you? Huh? It's anyway. When you say something lofty like understanding, that's not really, you're not getting something else. So there's always a counter to giving something or getting something that you want, right? There's, the movie Bedazzled. You seen Bedazzled?
I did.
Of course, you saw fucking Bedazzled.
I do remember Bedazzled
because Elizabeth Hurley and Brendan Fraser are in it. Of course, you saw that.
White as hell.
No, Elizabeth.
That's true. Yo, she was
smoking.
She was smoking back then,
and she had that accent too.
That's right.
Just a dirty. Yeah. So anyway,
what does Bedazzled have to do with what you want everyone to get?
So you don't know this about me too. I can relate everything in my life to a movie. I can find an answer for problems in a movie, or a television show.
Oh, you got the Bedazzled because of the 3 wishes.
Because of the wishes. Because something always goes wrong. So you put it together.
Yep, I got it.
You went down the wormhole with me, baby.
I got it. All right.
Yeah. So I think there's always, if they have understanding, then they'll lose something else, right? I don't know, man. I think I want.
I thought for sure you were gonna say the nurturing thing.
Oh yeah, well, why did you feed it to me? I guess I want them to. I want people to leave with the thought of nurture, not to be nurturing. Okay.
Yeah.
To nurture the thing.
That's what it is.
To nurture, and not to nurture your thing, but to nurture the thing.
Yes.
right? The thing that we
And let it
we all
change.
have in commonality in, nurture that thing, and then when you look up from that nurture, blinding you with the light, you look around, you'll see that all the differences are actually quite beautiful. Right, all our differences are really beautiful. Could you imagine if this country didn't have Mexican food, Greek food, soul food, Russian food? How boring it would be. Go to New York and eat the same shit on every corner. People go to New York because of the variety of food, right? People move to cities because of the variety of food. I've been to Alaska. I've been to Valdez, Alaska about 5 times. And what's there in Valdez, Alaska? They got a Chinese restaurant. They got some American restaurant. They got some fish restaurant. But there's a variety because that's what we crave in this country. So if we crave variety, then we need to love the variety that we have and accept, or have and see and accept it, man. I don't think it's complicated, bro. I think if you love self, you love people.
Yep.
But you can't love yourself more than you love people. You gotta love the thing more, the thing. I'm philosophizer.
Yeah, you are. Philosophizing?
I'm about to watch this shit. It better be good. This better not embarrass me, Jesse.
Comment right now how good it is. All right, you're going to see the answers.
All right.
We're going to see.
All right. All right. By the time this airs, we should have a new pope.
That's right, I guess.
Yeah, you don't follow the news either. Huh?
No, I follow the news.
I was about to slap the shit out of you.
I thought I didn't. Ain't it Trump?
Oh, are we mentioning that name? No, man. Man, you know, man, how sacrilegious.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was the
was
costume and everything. See, that's the bad part of AI. And I don't know what's real anymore because it's really,
it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. You have no idea.
So when would you shut? I know there's a white man at the top somewhere with the switch to the internet. Can you just switch it off?
And then we don't have anything. No internet. Nothing.
Just for 5 days, let motherfuckers go crazy.
Dang, 5 days, yo.
5 days, it'd be anarchy. Did you see? Oh, my favorite movie I watched last year because I watched it, I think 3 times in one day.
What?
The Julia Roberts movie, The World.
Wait.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Oh shoot, what was it called?
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Man.
No, that one was dope.
Man.
I didn't watch it 3 times in one day like you, but I did watch it.
I started watching it.
It was
right?
good. All right, Keith Arthur Bolden. You know what? I'm gonna do something different just to see how this goes. Because you complimented me on my intro. I'm gonna let you do the outro to the show.
Oh, damn it! I wasn't listening that hard.
Yeah. So
anything I need to hit?
You just got to tell everyone to subscribe. You got to tell them come back for the next episode, and thanks for being here, and then whatever else you want to say. And then look at the camera.
Anything I do? Anyone want to? This is how I do it?
Yeah, however you want to do it. All right, everyone. I'm going to say thanks for tuning in. Keith Arthur Bolden.
Keep talking.
Keith Arthur Bolden's going to take it the rest of the way.
But you got to keep talking to the people while I take it on the way.
When you do, what do you mean? You got to go.
No, you got. Who got to go where?
You got to close out the show.
Oh, but I'm looking for something right now.
What are you doing? You making a script? What's
no,
happening?
Man, I'm looking for something, man. I'm looking for something. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, man.
Oh shit! All right. Here we go. Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Hold on. Bring it up higher. Bring it up.
The music. Play the music up higher. Hey, y'all. Keith Arthur Bolden here. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And I want you mother suckers to subscribe. It's going to be a groovy good time, baby. Right here with Jesse and Keith Arthur. You know, I think that this show should have me back. Because it's going to be a groovy time. It's going to be dim the lights. It'll be cocktail hour soon. Oh, wow, he's really dimming the damn lights. All right. Boom, chaka, why? That's up. That's up. We want down. Because it goes down. On the podcast. Yeah, I want you to subscribe. Subscribe, you gonna like what you vibe when you get on the line. On the line, then you talk on the vine. Malinowski, talk to him. Get seen, baby, get seen. You thought we didn't see you? We see you, baby, get seen. Come here, doggy in my lap. Yeah, subscribe.